heart hungers to love and to be loved, and God has made us to love. He has made us to receive love, and so we hunger for that. We just naturally hunger for that.
Everybody is looking really for the same thing, whether they know it or not. Everybody is looking for communion, connection with other people, and ultimately with God.
The only person that can satisfy the human heart is God.
St. Joseph House is a place where this desire for love in others is fulfilled. It's a place that takes in people who never had that family, who didn't know what it's like to be loved, because that family that's supposed to provide that wasn't there, and it gives them the family. And it's also a place where people are brought to God.
When anyone asks me, hey, what's St. Joseph's House? I do refer them, for the most part, to the mission statement, which was put together in 1999. We're a charitable nonprofit, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But the primary inspiration for St. Joseph's House really has come from a few places. One of those was John Paul II's encyclical in 1995, The Gospel of Life. The call to Catholics to stand up and to declare and to live a gospel of life.
Well, St. Joseph's House is many things. Structurally, it is a Pennsylvania nonprofit corporation which enjoys IRS 501c3 status, which simply means that contributions made to St. Joseph's House are tax deductible to those who make those contributions.
Where does St. Joseph's House come from? Well, certainly the roots of it come from my relationship with my wife, with Donna, and our deep sense within our own selves that children needed a home and needed to be reached out to. And it began in there.
Okay, I grew up in a suburban household with 3 brothers and a mother and a father who worked very hard. I grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school, received the sacraments. Didn't really internalize a whole lot of it until I was later on in my teen years, 18 or 19 years old. I was thrilled to find a relationship with Jesus as being the reason that I was born, the reason that I was alive. So from there, I determined to finish my college education at Catholic University, which I majored in religious studies and elementary education, double major. And when I was there, I met John, my husband.
I came from a loving family. Came from a mom and a dad who loved one another, who loved their children. I'm one of 7. And when I was in my early 20s, I just had this strong sense the Lord was saying very clearly, I heard it as clear as a bell, I just want you to go serve. And so I felt led to a Catholic mission in northeastern Kentucky to bring Christ to those that I was interfacing with.
I spent the summer in Calcutta working with Mother Teresa's sisters. But it did make a lasting impression on me because deep in my heart I knew that every child that was on that street needed to be loved and cared for and needed to belong somewhere.
So ultimately I met Donna at Catholic U, 1981. We were married in 1984. After we got married, we found we were infertile. And we didn't waste any time going, well, let's just, bring our hands over this. We looked for the opportunity to adopt, and we adopted Rosa as a toddler in 1987, and then came Natalie in 1989, then David came in 1991. At that point, we were foster parents. Our hearts opened up to realizing we could receive children who were older, children who had tough backgrounds, kids who had been abandoned, children who came from orphanages, who were older, who maybe had been greatly hurt in their lives and were in great emotional pain. And so we began to take children who were more like that.
A wonderful attorney in Steubenville, Ohio.
Guardian Angel Nonprofit Services, Jim Hostetler, showed us how St. Joseph's House could be born. And it was born on the feast of St. John of the Cross, December 14th, 1999.
We knew that this was where God had led us. Since that time, I think we have grown, because the truth is that we try to respond to the Lord in whatever way He's speaking to us at the time.
There's no escaping the family aspect of St. Joseph's House.
I think life at St. Joseph's House is like crazily awesome, but it's crazy because like there's always something happening. Like there's never a dull moment.
Every day is like another opportunity to like grow closer to God, to serve others.
It's definitely anything but boring.
Life around here is basically prayer-centered. We start the day with Mass, and that focuses us to be able to serve and even just live our life to the best of our ability.
Each one of the children, including myself, have learned to respect who, and accept who we really are, and, really find out who we were created to be.
They've benefited by having the challenge of day-to-day living in a household that's going to challenge them to take the next step in their lives today.
St. Joseph's House has a threefold mission. The three program services of St. Joseph's House are evangelization, which permeates everything which it does to bring people to Christ. Assistance to families, be it individual members of families, whole families, or families who have a particular need. And the third program service of St. Joseph's House is the St. Philomena Academy, which is to educate children and their families along with them in a classical education sense, truly in the faith and in truth.
St. Philomena's was born very soon after arriving here at 640 Buck Run Road. Our doors opened September 2002.
St. Philomena's began with about 40-some students. 10 years later, this is our 10th year, we are officially St. Philomena Academy, and we have over 100 students.
Everyone helps each other get educated, if you will. The parents teach. This is an all-volunteer organization. There are no paid staff.
We serve grades from K through 12 with a classical curriculum. And classical curriculum really is one that its goal is really to teach the children how to learn and how to think, how to assimilate information, how to communicate.
The education here is superb. It's above a lot of schools.
We hold the kids to a real high standard, and we have high expectations for their behavior.
The primary mission of St. Philomena's is the salvation and the sanctification of souls, so that we can be a light, and live out the gospel of life in the community, and to just show that to the world as well as we can.
The main goal is the salvation of souls and holiness, sanctity. And academic formation falls under that larger umbrella.
St. Philomena accomplishes that goal by just the environment you're in every day. You're in the environment of, you pray at the beginning of class, you pray at the end of the day. You have friends where, they're all about that too, so you don't feel alone.
We have a spirituality period during the day, at least once, where the faith is shared.
There's continual prayer and Catholic morals being upheld. The teachers, every class, and no matter what it is chemistry, maths, sciences, history, it's all focused on God.
We're learning about God in every subject area.
They're being formed in apologetics, they're being formed in the catechism, they're being formed in the faith, which to me trumps everything. I know my kids can add, but they know the faith. They know the faith, and to me that's far more important than anything else.
The school really entrenches the deepness of your faith so that it won't leave you, basically.
It's more than a school. St. Philomena's is really a community of families living out the faith life in a radical way.
It's pulling families that are all looking for the same thing, a safe haven for families who are really trying to raise their children in the light and when there's so much darkness out there. Having all boys, I needed the structure and I needed the outside authority and accountability. But we needed mostly the spiritual formation that I knew I wanted for my kids and I could see was going on here.
We could not do it without it in our family.
St. Philomena Academy is a blessing beyond anything we were even asking for. The Lord answered a prayer, and it's been 4 years now, and it's been fabulous.
My children have been blessed because we don't have to fight against the world.
Before I got here, I was like Mr. Stupid Face. Like I couldn't get my head around anything. It was just bad. And then I got here, and then I had one-on-one help. I had people who knew what they're talking about. I had all this stuff just right laid out in front of me, and it was just perfect. So it taught me how to learn, basically.
It's just been a great experience. The education I've received has been great. I feel very prepared going to college. St. Philomena Academy isn't just an education for this earth, and it's not just an education for our lives here. It's an education for time and eternity. It's an education for the next life with God in heaven.
The other major program service of St. Joseph's House is assistance to families.
In a variety of ways, St. Joseph's House has been able to assist moms, sometimes widows specifically, or moms with little kids, moms whose husbands are absent. We've been able to provide, thanks be to God, shelter. Our first house of hospitality was opened in 2002, and that house has been used to serve a number of moms and their children since 2002. We've been able to, when necessary, provide that shelter free of charge, and often that's been the case, until that mom and her children have been able to get situated in another place. We've been able to provide food for them. We've been able to provide sometimes an automobile for them via donations through generous benefactors. The blessing now in the last year or two is we have another house next door. 620 Buck Run Road now has the ability to help moms and is presently helping a mom with her child. Regularly, St. Joseph's House is able to help with food and clothing to families in need.
There are other situations, two in particular that I know of, where the husband of a family died suddenly, and specific donor-designated funds were set up for those families, where separate accounts were set up, contributions were made, and 100% of those dollars went to the widow and the families involved for their specific needs. Two of those funds are ongoing. I know in particular there's another fund that I asked to be set up for a situation where the wife is dying of cancer and the family simply has no means. And many people are interested to give this family simply enough money to bury the wife when she passes away.
So I've been here a year and 3 months, volunteering, and there's always an opportunity to serve. And that's what I really wanted, was just some way that I could get out of myself and just focus on God. A few months after I got here, Mr. and Mrs. Kurtz started talking about these refugees from Haiti.
Ciliana and Kajina came from Haiti. They lived under a lot of pain and stress, especially after the earthquake.
They've also just provided a huge sense of hope and of purpose and of really what St. Joseph's House is all about. Giving refuge to mothers, children, families. Nicholas is one good example. He came as an infant. His mother actually came before he did. And it's been amazing over the years that I've volunteered here, just to see Nicholas growing up and to see this happy face on this kid whose life may have never come about if it wasn't for the generosity of St. Joseph's House.
Over the years, there have been more and more young people who come into our household who have not been adopted.
We have several children in our care that come from other families who are either in need of a respite, in need of a school. So there's several children like that at St. Joseph's House, and they're thriving.
The Lord has really laid it on our heart very, very intensely that all who come into this household are family.
When I came here at age 15, because I think of the love that I was shown from mom and dad and from each of my siblings, I never knew how it felt like when somebody loved you. I slowly began to heal, I think. I'm still in the process. I'm not even close to being fully healed, but I don't know. I can never be grateful enough to God, because St. Joseph's House completely, I think, changed my life. It brought a lot of hope into my life.
It's been a blessing to be here because it changes lives.
The greatest change I've ever experienced in my life is finding myself in relationship with Jesus through St. Joseph's House. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I came from a very small Catholic family of 3 kids, and my mom was very devout. She tried to raise us up in the faith, but it was really hard for her because she didn't have support. My parents were separated when I was 5. As the years went on, I didn't agree with it. I just decided to rebel, and I rebelled really hard. I got into everything that the world had to offer, all the things that the world says is going to make you happy, the world says is what's a good time. I lost complete respect for myself and for my mom completely, and the domestic situation was just getting worse and worse. It was just getting really bad, and so my mom realized that she had to do something with me. That summer, the summer of 2004, I came to live at St. Joseph's House. For a while, I was just in complete shock when I first came to St. Joseph's House because the lifestyle was completely different than what I had been used to. When you come to St. Joseph's House, you're put into an environment where you're in a community and everyone works together for the benefit of everyone else. I really didn't know how to do anything except care about myself. So I was forced out of myself to serve the other people around me. I was forced to step out of my own little bubble, my own little world, and to look around me and see other people, other people who were hurting and that needed to be served, other needs to be met. And I learned how to love other people. And that really stretched me in ways that I had never been stretched before, because I wanted to grow in my faith, because it became so attractive to me, the beauty of living the faith. I decided that I wanted to grow in this, so I would tag along with my mom to adoration. And there, I really met Jesus in the Eucharist, and I've experienced healing in the deeper parts of who I am that I had never experienced before. That in the first time in my life, I experienced peace, like a deep peace and a deep joy, and that all the fears and anxieties that used to be there were actually erased within His presence. I've lived here for about 8 years, and after discovering that a relationship with Christ in the Eucharist, now I believe that that's all I live for now, is for this relationship, and that I know that He's in control of my life, and He's the one who brought me here into this place.
We do a lot here at St. Joseph's House. There's the school, there's the family. But the reason why we do everything that we do, the reason why St. Joseph's House exists, is Christ. Jesus is the reason why St. Joseph's House exists. The main mission of St. Joseph's House is to glorify Him and to bring souls to Him.
We see miracles happen in people's lives, and we have miracle stories here of people who have been completely transformed through the love of Christ and through the power of Jesus in the Eucharist. One of my sisters, her name is Mary Carmen, and she was brought here to St. Joseph's House, and what did Mom do? She just put her in front of the Eucharist, and as the years went on, though she was struggling a lot with problems that she had, woundedness that she had, she was able to overcome them through the power that the Eucharist had. She gave it all to Christ, and now she gave her life over, all of herself over, dedicated her whole life to the Lord in religious life.
Alex came to us from the Texas foster care system. He came from great trauma, and he struggled over the years about what to do about all the intense pain he felt inside.
I didn't know anything about God, and only in this past year or two, have I really accepted God in my life. Presently in life, I'm discerning about the religious life.
He has just blessed all of us because of his yes to Jesus. And isn't it incredible that
I came to know God. I came to know that there's a purpose in my life. And I would never have known that if I had not come to live here at St. Joseph's House.
Because it's the love of Christ that never gives up on people and always hopes and is disinterested. That's the kind of love that Mom and Dad show here at St. Joseph's House.
St. Joseph's House, in its core, is a family of love which seeks to educate and care for people. It emanates from a family, and you simply can't escape the faith there. You can't escape the love of being in a family that has love and is welcoming to everybody who comes to them.
Jesus said, whatever you do for the least of my brothers, you've done for me. When we serve other people, we're serving Christ.
When you grow in your love for the Lord, in a relationship with the Lord, you want to serve Him and you want to do His will, you know His will is for the salvation of the whole world. That's why He died on the cross. This is our way of loving the Lord back for all that He's done for us.
And so why do we do what we're doing? I think it's because we both feel it's a mandate He's given us. I mean, everyone has their own way of serving and loving Him. This is what He's told us to do.
I think that this is what John Paul II meant by a culture of life.
St. Joseph's House is the home I always wanted.
I learned what a true family is.
It's teaching me how to be a true servant of God. I would not want to be anywhere else.
I've never met a group of people that just care and are there for anybody.
You can definitely see God's hand at work.
If everyone came to see what was going on here, then they will believe in God, because they could see His love in action.